Call the roll call.
Commissioner Tolson,
Here.
Commissioner Castleberry.
Here.
Commissioner Rice.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Mann is absent. Chairperson Hodge is absent.
So I would recommend for the Planning Commission night, since the chair and the vice chair are absent, and according to the bylaws, we'll have a selection of a chairperson pro tem tonight, or pro tempore. So if the,
I make a nomination to appoint Commissioner Ken Rice as the chairperson
pro tempore.
pro tem tonight.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a
Do I
second.
have to accept the motion? And I mean, how do you, a motion was made by Commissioner Tolson with a second by Commissioner Castleberry. Unless there are any objections,
That's right.
The motion carries.
the motion carries.
There you go.
May I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
I second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Castleberry with a second by Commissioner Tolson. Unless there are any objections, the agenda stands approved. May I have a motion for the approval of minutes?
I move to approve the minutes as written, as submitted.
Yes, ma'am.
I second the motion.
The motion was made by Commissioner Tolson with a second by Commissioner Castleberry. Unless there are any objections, the minutes are approved. Moving on to the declaration of conflict, the secretary will read the declaration of conflict.
If any member of the Planning Commission may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time.
Are there any declarations of conflict? Okay, moving on. Public statements. This is the time allotted for public statements or comments on all items other than public hearing items. Seeing no cards, we will move on. Correspondence. Is there any correspondence from the Deputy Director, City Planner?
There is no correspondence for tonight.
Okay,
Just for
moving
the-
on.
Just for the record, he's now the director of the Environmental Services Department.
Director.
We're going to
okay.
update our script.
I got to update my sheet here. Okay, consent calendar. Okay, we do have things on the consent calendar. So, may I have a motion for approval of the consent calendar?
I'd like to pull item A to discuss the
And
dates.
that was the elections.
No, the Planning Commission meeting dates for 2020.
Correct. Okay. So, have a second?
Second on that.
Okay. So,
You can discuss that item.
we can discuss that item? Okay. So, what item, what days?
I have two conflicts on January 8th and April 8th. I have a pre-standing meeting on the second Wednesday of each month, and that happens to fall. Our normal meeting dates happen to fall on that day in those 2 months for some reason. I'd like to suggest that we adopt January 15th and April 15th if possible as our meeting dates.
Is there any conflict with either of those dates, Mr. or Commissioner Tolson? No.
Not on those dates.
Any issue with April 15th, which is tax day? No? Okay. I have a conflict on March 25th, and I would like to move that date to March 18th.
That's fine with me.
I'm okay with that, too.
Okay. Right. Any other moves? Okay. So,
Yeah, we received no other comments from the other commissioners about
comments?
any of the other dates.
okay. So unless there are any other objections, consent calendar stands?
Should I make a motion to formally
Or do we
adopt the
have to-
consent calendar, or do we adopt it?
On the safe side, you can do that.
Okay.
I move to adopt the consent calendar
As amended.
as amended.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Castleberry with a second by Commissioner Tolson to accept the consent calendar as amended. Seeing no objections. Moving on to continued business. There's no continued business. Public hearing items. Okay. This is the time and place set for a public hearing on the consideration of PDS 1069 and TPS 694, and the determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. Are there any ex parte communications to report?
No.
Seeing none, may we have an oral report on this matter by staff?
Thank you, Chairperson Pro Tem Rice. This project tonight is the project site is located in the Brandeis-Bardeen Specific Plan area. We commonly hear about the West End Specific Plan, but this is actually one of our older specific plan areas that's intended for both industrial and business park uses. The site, the Brandeis-Bardeen tract specific plan actually dates back to the 1980s, and a tract map was granted in 1984, which actually they did grading of the site back at that time and created the site and the manufactured slopes to prepare. The site's currently a vacant lot as of today. In April 2011, a planned development permit for about a 54,000 square foot, 3-story office building was approved by the Planning Commission, along with a parcel map to develop the site. However, that office building was never built. In May of 2014, they were granted a 3-year time extension, and then most recently in July of 2017, another time extension for that project for the office building was granted by the Planning Commission. However, since that July 2017 Planning Commission date, the property has been sold, and due to the market studies not supporting a luxury office building at that location, tonight's proposal for an industrial condominium development has been proposed. The general plan for the site is business park, and the proposed development is consistent with the general plan and the specific plan. Making her final presentation to the Planning Commission and as a senior planner prior to retirement is Senior Planner Donna Rosser to make tonight's presentation. Donna?
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to work with the city and for all my wonderful applicants and staff that I've worked with. Tonight, we are hearing a project that's being presented by PK Architecture. They're requesting a planned development permit to construct a 49,980 square foot industrial building, along with a tentative tract parcel map for 16 condominium units. They'll all be located in one building, and they will be for sale, and also the determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. The project is located in the Brandeis-Bardeen Specific Plan, which was adopted in December 1984. All of the parcels on the north side of Guardian, along here, are already built out, as well as this location here. Only 2 parcels remain undeveloped that are not owned by the American Jewish University, and that is the site that we're looking at tonight, as well as the site over here that has a project that you will be hearing in the next few months. The site is zoned Business Park, Brandeis-Bardeen Specific Plan. The Brandeis-Bardeen Specific Plan is similar to the West End Specific Plan, but it is more limited in the type of uses allowed. You'll see the permitted uses along with some conditional use permits uses in this area. The site itself is 3.97 acres. It's shown in blue, and it's located at 4180 Guardian Street. The site has light industrial uses to the north and west, residential uses and commercial uses farther north. The Rancho Simi Recreation Park District has recently relocated to this building here. And then we have open space to the south and the east. The single building is oriented parallel to Guardian Street with 2 new driveways with decorative paving along with a new sidewalk. 2 loading docks are located to the rear of the building along with the trash enclosures. The project will be constructed on the existing graded pad and manufactured slopes. Retaining walls will be installed to maintain stability of the hillside. The project is located in the hillside performance standard, so no construction will take place in the 10% natural slopes, as shown on the screen. The conceptual landscape plan shows that 34% of the site will be covered with drought-tolerant landscaping. Only 12.5% is required. The 3 oak trees are on the site will remain, and they will be protected in place. They are also going to be installing vines along the retaining walls to provide screening. The units themselves will range from 2,235 square feet to 3,041 square feet. Each unit has a warehouse space along with an office space. 3 of the units will have a mezzanine ranging from 1,197 square feet to 1,225 square feet. They also have a roll-up door at the rear of the building, and all of the main entrances are at the front of the building. In the event a business would like to expand into more than 1 unit, the units could be merged. The same architect that created the plans for the Dick Darling School District project on Cochrane Street prepared the plans for this project. So you will see some similarities between the 2 projects. What we're looking at is a concrete tilt-up wall painted taupe and tan with reddish-brown stucco and blue-gray trim. The single-story portion is 25 feet, 8 inches high, and the mezzanine portion is 30 feet high. This is a rendering looking east from Guardian Street. The project contains a total of 23 findings that must be met in order to approve the project. The tentative map has 21 conditions of approval, and the plan development has 89 conditions of approval. All of the findings and conditions of approval are found in the staff report. The Neighborhood Council heard the project on November 14th, and the board and audience unanimously recommended approval. In staff's opinion, the project meets all of the findings subject to the 89 conditions of approval and recommends approval of the plan development permit, tentative parcel map, and that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. This concludes staff presentation, and staff and the applicant are available for questions.
Any questions of staff? No. Okay. We will open the public testimony portion of the hearing. Would the applicant like to present the project?
Thank you, Commissioners, very much for hearing us tonight. My name is Brian Pollock. I'm with PK Architecture. We're the architects for this project. First thing I want to say, and I do mean this, the last couple of months we've been working with Donna, and I've worked with her on another CUP approval process, and I'm going to actually submit a couple of more projects before she leaves, but I do have to say I've had the greatest experience working with her as a planner, and it's not that she cuts any slack, it's not that she asks for any less information, it's just that she really communicates, and it's really nice to have a planner that communicates. And I've had a couple of really good experiences in the city of Simi Valley, and I applaud you guys for just making the project process workable. Obviously, you guys have to decide whether this is an approvable project, and we understand that, but to be able to do the process and have it flow smoothly and be able to communicate with somebody, I could be able to call Donna, and she communicates with us and tells me what she needs. And it makes the project much more enjoyable to work on. So I do appreciate that, and I thank you very much. So having said that, I think Donna covered most of the issues on the project. You want to we'll just run through all the slides of the, this is the title sheet on the project, obviously. What you mentioned, it's slightly under 50,000 square feet. It's industrial condominium project, similar to the Dick Darling project that Donna mentioned. It's a smaller project. We do have a two-story element. We do have an element that pulls in off the sidewalk where we actually saved a tree, which I think was a formidable thing. It makes the building a little more complicated to build, but it also creates a nice seating area for the community of people that will be in this building. So I think we accomplished a lot of things. Obviously, the grades were a challenge because we were trying to get enough drive behind the building to have some loading opportunity, also have a front drive and parking, and try to get everything to work. So we tried to keep the colors and the architecture blending in with the area. We did do the standard abrasive building, which is now the Parks and Recreation building long ago. We also did the Guardian building, though we love the standard abrasives building, which is now the Parks and Recreation building, because that was really meant to fit into this, what that particular client felt was a wonderfully bucolic setting, and that's why they put the facility there, and then eventually they moved out. So we had the same attitude toward this. Keep it simple, keep it elegant, keep the colors soft, create some opportunity where we can, and still accomplish the goals that our client had of getting approximately a 50,000 square foot building. The nice thing different than, let's say, Dick Darling's project is this has a two-story element and a single-story element. Having those mezzanines actually creates some nice opportunity for somebody that has a little more office, and it also creates some more clear height in the building for those tenants that really want that clear height. Otherwise, we have the 17 to 18 foot clear in the rest of the building, which seems pretty good for this type of product. My understanding in this market, we're looking at about less than 1% for small tenancy, and so I think this building fits very nicely in this area. It's not heavily obtrusive. It's kind of a low-profile building, so I think it fits pretty nicely. So I think it works well here. And this condominium concept, which even people like an architect, soils engineers, we like that type of product too, because it's the type of thing that we could access. So it's, smaller spaces that can be expandable, or, people can have, down to 2,000 square foot tenant spaces. So we feel pretty strongly that this is a nice product, and it will work well in the city and provide small business with opportunity to get into building ownership and also grow. So I think that's it. If you have any questions of us,
Are there any questions of the applicant? No? Okay. Thank you, sir.
all right. Thank you.
Oh, and Brian, when you can fill out a speaker card when you have a moment?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. just
And if you want to see, we have more. I have all the plans and all the different things.
Okay.
If you want to go through those, I think Donna did a pretty good job of showing the general shape of the project. We did show the color landscape plan showing the 3 trees that we were saving. And we worked really hard to save that tree in the plaza area, because that's a tough one to hold on to.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
but if you have any other questions, we're here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to be heard on this matter? No? Okay. Are there any comments from staff regarding statements made during the public hearing?
No.
Donna, could you show the list of allowed uses real quick?
Yes, can we get back to mine?
I'm going.
Thanks.
Takes a second.
One thing I wanted to point out, this is the allowable uses that are in the Brandeis Bardeen specific plan. It's very limited. These are exactly the uses that are allowed. And one of the things you'll notice is that we don't allow microbreweries in the next couple of months. That's going to be an issue that's going to be coming to the Planning Commission. And this is actually one of the areas of the city, these industrial zones, this Brandeis Bardeen, where that might be added. So that's the only thing I wanted you to be aware of, that there is that potential change on the horizon.
What about like gyms or CrossFit or something like that?
No. If somebody wanted to do it, they would just have to amend the specific plan to allow that land use type. But no one's proactively been proposing that.
Okay.
And it's really, a lot of these buildings are about 100% occupied, so there's really.
I would imagine they would be, but
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
thought I'd throw that out there. Okay. All right. I don't, as the applicant, you don't want to respond to any comments made, do you, by any chance? Okay. If there are no further questions, we'll close the public testimony portion of the hearing. Are there any comments or questions from members of the Planning Commission?
Sorry to interrupt. I think it's important to ask the applicant whether or not he would want to respond to any
Okay.
comments.
All right. Would the applicant like to respond to any of the comments regarding statements made during the public testimony?
No, I think we're okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, if there are no further questions, we'll close the public testimony portion of the hearing. Are there any comments or questions from members of the Planning Commission? Commissioner Tolson?
Sure. I think there's a great need for this type of product in Simi Valley, not just industrial, but a retail or for sale item. So I think there's lots and lots of small businesses in town who've been paying rent for a long time, and this is a way to take over and become a business owner with not a landlord. So I think that I like that a lot. I think it's going to be an easy way to sell. The sizes are easy to work with in terms of sizing. You can adjust to bigger companies if need to be. Beautiful design. I like the neighborhood council was unanimous on that. Colors, the matching the look from surround buildings, it's all good. And excellent staff report, and Donnie did a great job.
Thank you. Commissioner Castleberry?
I echo what Commissioner Tolson said. It's a great project. It fulfills a great need we have in our community. I hope it gets built very soon. I'm very happy to see you save the oak trees, especially that one. I know it can be difficult to save it when it's in the middle of the parcel, so I'm glad to see what you guys did with it. And I'm very sad that this is the last project we'll be hearing from Donna, but best of luck to you, Donna, in your retirement, and I look forward to supporting this project.
Okay. So I appreciate, I only have one problem with this project, and that is that it's not the beautiful business park. That was the most amazing looking building when we approved it. What was that, 2010 or something like that? It was amazing. But this is really good. It's nice. And I echo everything that Commissioner Tolson and Commissioner Castleberry said. And working around those oak trees, you obviously really care. And we greatly appreciate that. Not every applicant cares that much about what they're doing in the city, so we appreciate that so much. And the fact that you put in so much landscaping when you didn't have to do it, we appreciate that also. It's a beautiful project, and I hope you fill it up on day one. So, all right. May I please have a reading of the resolution?
SVPC 21-2019, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Simi Valley approving tentative parcel map number TPS 694, plan development permit number PDS 1069, and a determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
The chair will now entertain a motion.
I move to adopt a resolution approving PDS 1069 and TPS 694, subject to the recommended conditions.
All second?
The motion was made by Commissioner Castleberry, and I have...
So sorry to interrupt. That was
No, no.
also to approve the environmental analysis as well.
Okay. Do you want to add that? And to approve that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
Even though it's not written, it needs to be verbal.
Okay.
And I second that addition.
So a motion was made by Commissioner Castleberry and a second from Commissioner Tolson. Call for the vote. The motion passes. The appeal period for the plan development permit is 14 calendar days. The appeal period for the tentative parcel map is 10 calendar days. Okay, proceeding to the next item. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, and good luck, Donna, on your next adventure. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I make one comment?
Public session's closed.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hang on a minute here. Okay, so oral communications and reports?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson Rice. The one communication, I wanted to make sure, at the last December 4th Planning Commission meeting, the item that was denied, the Tappan and Alamo project, that project is not requiring an appeal because it involved a plan development permit and an affordable housing agreement. It automatically goes to the city council. What the city planning commission did that evening was a recommendation. And so I know there was a little bit of confusion. Just want to say for the record, it's a recommending action. The resolution for denial will be coming back to the planning commission at an upcoming planning commission date. Otherwise, the now revised calendar shows that the next planning commission meeting is on January 15th, and we have a tentative agenda before you on that night.
Do any commissioners have anything to report? Seeing none. Does Mobile Home Rent Mediation Board?
Nothing tonight?
Tree Advisory Board?
Nothing tonight.
This concludes the meeting of December 18th, 2019. The next scheduled meeting will be January 15th, 2020.
That's great.
The meeting is adjourned.
26 minutes.